welcome back to our Python for Beginners series. In this final video, we're going to bring together everything we've learned over the course of the last 9 instructional videos, and we're going to build a simple Python application using all of that knowledge. So by the end of this video, you'll have a solid understanding of how to structure and develop a complete Python application. So let's get started, guys. Okay, so we're going to build a simple contact manager application. This app allows us to add, view, and search for contacts. We'll use everything we've learned so far, including functions, error handling, modules, and packages. So this is the kind of the Scratchpad project that I had going to teach you guys everything that I have over the course of the past 9 videos. So now that we're actually going to put together an application, I think we should start a new project. So if you've been following along, you should have PyCharm installed. Click on the hamburger up here at the top left, and then just click on File, New Project. And let's call this Contact Manager. You call yours whatever you want, guys, but if you're following along and you want to kind of mirror what I'm doing, I'm calling mine Contact Manager because I'm so creative. And we'll do a new window, and then once that opens, we can just, I'll pull mine over and I'll close out the other one. All right, guys, so let's start off with our project structure. We'll create a directory named Contact Manager, which will contain our main script and a package for our modules. So let's go ahead and do that now. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a directory here. We're going to call this Contact Manager. And now within this directory, let's go ahead and create a Python file called main.py. This will be our main script. And then also within this contact manager directory, let's create a package. So that'll be another directory. And we're going to call this one contacts. So now within the contacts, we need to build out our different modules. So this will be our package for our different modules. So I'm going to do a new Python file. First one we're going to need is that init.py. And the next one that we'll build out here in our contacts package will be add contact. And then we'll do view contacts. And last but not least, we want to be able to search for contacts, so we're going to build that out as well. Okay, so now we have our directory structure set up, and we can view that in File Explorer as well. So let's go ahead and do that. So if you right click on any of these, we should be able to go to Open in Explorer. And here we see our, if we go all the way, or we are all the way back. So this is the main root folder of the Contact Manager project. And now we see that we have our Contact Manager directory, our main.py file, and then we have our contacts package, which contains our different modules. Okay, guys, we are going to start by populating our functions that we have here so that we can get our code up and rolling. So first one we'll look at is the add contact function. And these will all be very straightforward, excuse me, but I think it'll really help to reinforce what we've learned here, guys. So let's do def, which is how we define a function, remember? And then we'll do add contact. And we're going to have 3 parameters here. So we're going to pass it a parameter called contacts, which is essentially a dictionary that we're going to build right now. So if you remember dictionaries, hopefully you remember that from one of the earlier videos, that is a group or a list essentially of key value pairs. So that's, to me, that's perfect, right, for a contact app, because we're going to have these different contacts and they're going to have different values. So maybe they have like a phone number. That would obviously be the main one, but you could add more values there as well. So let's go ahead and pass it another parameter of name, and then we'll do phone. All right, so then when we call this, we want it to perform an action. So we're going to say contacts name equals phone. And then we want to return. contacts. All right, next one we'll do is the view contacts. So let's define view, contacts, and then this one we just need to pass it the contacts dictionary. And we're going to say for name. So remember the loop. We've done loops, guys, so I know you remember this. If not, feel free to always go back and watch again. For name in contacts dot items. Items, we covered that in our dictionary video. Print, we're going to do a formatted string here. Name, and then we're going to get the, get the name. And then phone is going to be obviously the phone. All right, and that'll give us view contacts. Last but not least, we're going to define how to search for contacts. So we'll come here and we'll do def search contacts, and then we will pass the contacts dictionary and then name, so we can search by name. Okay, return. Contacts dot get, and then it'll be name or contact not found. All right, so the last one we need to populate here in our package would be the init.py. So we're going to bring these in. We're going to say from add contact, import add contact. From view contacts. That's what I love about IDEs, guys. It knows what you're trying to do, right? And then it finishes things for you, so it's just so much easier. If you were doing all this in like Notepad or something, it'd be a nightmare. And that's really where you have to figure out where your issues are on your own. You don't get these nice little formatted, like these highlights of, hey, you got an issue there. Excuse me. All right, so we just imported the functions from each one of our modules within our package. And we did that in our initialization py file, or our init.py. Okay, so now that we have our package built out and our modules all set up within the packages, we're going to go ahead and take a look at our main script. So let's code out the main script. So first thing we need to do is bring in some of that stuff. So we're going to say from contacts. And remember, contacts is our package, right? So we're going to call that out from contacts, import add contact, view contacts, and search contacts. So we just imported all that stuff into our main file. Def main. So now we're going to define our main function, and we got to build that dictionary out. So contacts equals a empty dictionary for right now, and then we're going to do a while loop. So while true, we're going to print. This is going to give us a new line. So contact manager. So this will print that to the screen or the terminal. Oops, I didn't mean to split that. All right, so let's create a few more print functions here. This will just give us like a, I don't want to say GUI, but it'll give us our our text in our terminal here. So this will give our program a, I guess you'd call it a text UI. All right, so let's build out a few more of these print statements, and this is basically going to give our program its graphics, so to speak. This is what you'll see when you run the program. So we're going to do print one add contact. This will be like a choice, right? So if you want to add contact, select one. Print two will be view contact, contacts, plural. And then three will be, sorry, we gotta make that a string. I know you guys remember strings. So 3 would be search contacts. And then our last one will be to exit the program. All right, and our last one will be to exit the program, use option 4. Now these are just, obviously right now, these are just strings, right? We're just print statements, strings on the screen, but we're going to make these actually do something here. So we're going to say choice equals input, and we covered this in a previous video. So input is where it'll prompt for user input. So we're going to say choose an option. And guys, remember, you can get as creative as you want with this. So feel free to add some flair to that, make it funny, change the verbiage, whatever you want, right? Remember, this is your program. Okay, so now we have like our main menu built out, so to speak. So this is what'll start when the loop starts. So then it'll print all this to the screen. It's going to ask them for their input. So choose an option. So now we need to kind of build out what happens when they choose specific options. So we're going to say if choice equals, and you have to put 2 equals here because this is an evaluator. If we just said equals, we would be setting choice. We would be trying to set choice to something. So when you evaluate something, it's 2 equal signs. So if choice equals 1, then we're going to build out actions for that. We're going to say name equals name equals, and now we need to ask them for a name, right? So we need to do input, and then we'll do enter name. And then we need to do phone, input, and then we'll say enter phone number. And then we're going to add that to the contacts. So we'll say contacts, which is our dictionary, equals add contact. So we're basically going to append to that contact. And then we're going to pass the contacts dictionary. And then we're going to say name and phone. So we just called one of our modules. So we called a function from the module add contacts. And we're going to pass it the parameters or the arguments that we just received from the user input. So we're going to pass the name, which is what they entered, and the phone number, which they entered there, into this, function that we built out in our add contacts module, which is part of the contacts package. So hopefully this is all starting to come together for you guys. So then we'll do a final print here, and we'll do a formatted string. We'll say added contact, and then we'll say the name of the contact. All right. Then we're going to do an elif choice equals 2. And then we need to do view contacts because 2 was to view contacts. So we're just going to call out the view contacts there. And remember that was and we have to do contacts for the dictionary. That was a function that we built out in our module view contacts, and we already imported that, so that's why we can call it directly here. Excuse me. Okay, another elif for choice number 3. Hopefully you're starting to see how this all comes together again, guys. So elif, sorry, backwards here. Elif choice equals 3. Name equals, now we got to ask for a name because they're going to search, right? So 3 was to search. So we need them to input a name. Enter name to search. And then after they enter the name, we'll say result equals, and then we'll call our search contacts, and we have to pass that couple of arguments. One would be the contacts dictionary, and the next one would be the name that they supplied. And then we will do print result. All right, so then we'll say elif choice equals 4, Then we will do print exiting contact manager. Goodbye. And remember, guys, make this as creative as you want. You can put whatever you want here, obviously. And then we'll do a break. So that would break the loop and kill the application. Else, so if they do anything other than the options that we supplied, we do need to make a little catch for that. So we'll say else print invalid choice. Please, I'm begging you, try again. All right, and then to run this, oh, sorry, we got to close that out. Ah, my bad, it was down there. Okay, anyways, now to run this, we need to say, we need to kick off that main loop, right? So if name equals main, run the main. Okay, guys, I just noticed I had a syntax error here. This should be a string, so 4. Otherwise, it's going to give us an invalid option if we were to input 4. But now that should have fixed it. So if you guys caught that, 2 thumbs up. If not, no worries. I obviously didn't either. Just make sure you go back and say if choice equals, and then put your 4 in strings, just like the rest of our options are. Put them in quotes to make it a string. All right, guys, at this point we have an application, but we learned a couple other things. So one thing I want to throw in here is just a little bit of error handling. Always a good practice to have error handling in your Python applications. So let's just go ahead and insert a try statement right here. So we're going to try all of this. So we'll need to indent everything here all the way down to our else. Let's go ahead and tab that in. So everything you highlight, if you just hit tab after that, you'll be good to go. And now we need to close out the try with get at the right level here, with an except. So remember, it's a try except, kind of like in Python or PowerShell, where you would do try catch, similar. So try except, except exception as E, and then we're going to say print formatted string and error occurred. And then that error will be E, which is the error, the exception. I'm sorry. Okay, so that should do it. We now have a built out application with a little bit of error handling in there. And I think we are ready to run this. All right, guys, we can run this right in the IDE if we want. So let's go ahead and click play to run the main.py. Make sure you're on the main.py. And that will launch it. So this is what our application looks like. It prompts the user for input right out of the gate. But really what we want to do is run this outside of the IDE, because that's kind of the whole point of building an application, so you can run it or you can share it with friends and they don't have to be in PyCharm to run it down here in this little terminal. You want it to run as its own application, so to speak. So I'm going to hit 4 and make sure this works to exit. And that did cleanly end the application, which is great. Exiting Contact Manager, goodbye. Process finished with exit code 0, which is always good, means there was no errors. All right, but what we really want to do, guys, is we want to run this on its own as an app. So let's go ahead and go to this directory. If we right click here and we say open in Explorer, we need to navigate to where our main.py file is, which is in that contact manager directory. So this is the project directory, and then this is the separate directory we created. Excuse me. Okay, so now if we hold down shift and we right click here, or even if you just right click, I think you can open it in terminal, and that'll open a terminal to that path, right? So I'm going to zoom in for you guys here. We can do CLS to clear the screen. I know it's a really long path, but once we launch, it should be fine. So we're going to type Python and then main.py. There we go. So now our app is open. I'll zoom again for you guys. And we have our contact manager. Remember, all this is obviously modifiable or customizable because this is your application. So you built this out. Everything you see on the screen here is what you coded into Python. Just take that in for a second, guys. If this is your first application you've built, that's really cool stuff, right? Like this is not something that you downloaded and ran. This is something that you built. I think that's freaking awesome. Like the first time I put something together, I was like, "Oh, so that means I can put whatever I want here. I can make it do whatever I want." I hope the wheels are starting to turn and the gears are really connecting because this is where creativity just comes to life, right? And I'm sorry if I get excited about this because I am. This is cool stuff, guys. Like you can literally build anything you want once you have these fundamental building blocks. Anyways, calm down there, Damien. Let's go ahead and run this and make sure everything works. So first thing I'll do is I'll type one because it's asking for input and I have four options. So I'm gonna do one for add a contact. And I'm gonna say Damien, my number 555-9911. Feel free to call me anytime, guys. I'm kidding. Obviously not my phone number. Okay, I'm gonna add a couple more here. I'm gonna put my dog in here, Tiger, and 555-9966. And let's just do one more unicorn. 555-88, or I'm sorry, 4411. Cool. So now we have three contacts in here. So let's do view contacts, see what that looks like. So there's our contacts. Ah, what happened on the unicorn one? I think I might have messed up there. Let's see. Ah, look at that. Something went wrong. I wasn't even paying attention. Choose an option. Unicorn. Nice. So good thing we had that clause built in there into our function, right? So I got ahead of myself. Instead of choosing option one to add another contact, I bet you guys caught that and laughed at me. um, I meant to do that. I was testing our code. It's not a bug, it's a feature, all right? But no, where it says choose an option, if you notice I typed unicorn instead of saying one to add a contact. And then I just kept going because I got too excited here and it asked me to choose another option. And I started typing in the phone number. So then we got invalid choice, please try again. So this is good, right? This is showing us that users are not going to break our code by simply typing in an invalid option. So that's great. Let's take our time this time. Let's type in one to add another contact, a unicorn, and then we'll do a phone number. It's probably gonna be different because I don't remember. All right. So now if we do view contacts to, yes, there we go. So name, showing our contacts, right? So name, Damien, phone, there's the phone number. Same thing for Tiger and same thing for Unicorn. And if you guys wanted to expand on that print function, because really the view contacts has a print function built in, right? Where it's going to print out these different dictionary entries in the contacts dictionary. This is a dictionary, if you remember, we built that out. But you could have it print something above here, like here's your contact list or whatever, right? And then you could have something at the end if you wanted. Again, just totally customizable, guys. So feel free to make this your own. And I hope that you guys do that. All right, so last but not least, let's do search contacts. And let's search for Tiger. And there it is. So we search for Tiger and we get his phone number. So that's really cool. And I know you guys are probably thinking, well, this is just a text-based um, some of you guys are probably in your head, this is just a lame text-based, no graphics application, and I could download one. Yeah, you could, but guess what? When you download one, you don't have the ability to customize it and make it your own. And plus, if you didn't go through all these steps with me, you wouldn't have learned a lot of the fundamentals and foundation of Python. So that's it, guys. This is our app. Again, we already kind of tested out of turn there. What happens if you type something in that doesn't make sense? It's going to say invalid choice. Please try again. So this is a pretty sweet application, in my opinion. We will do 4 to exit, and that takes us right back to our prompt. So I will clear the screen. And there we go, guys. Hey, I really hope you guys followed along in the series and you learned something. I can almost guarantee you if you're new to Python and you walk through this series, maybe you have to watch it twice or three times if you're like me. It doesn't sink in each like every time the first time, right? And for me, again, the best way I learn is by doing. So that's why I wanted to make this a very hands-on instructional and not just like a lecture of me talking about Python. We did a little bit of that because it is necessary, but I feel like we did a good job at putting code to the terminal or to the IDE in each one of the demonstrations or each one of the different videos where we covered these fundamentals. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this playlist or on this journey for the Python for Beginners series.
I would really appreciate it if you leave me some feedback. Let me know what you thought about it. Let me know if there should be a second series where we get a little more advanced and we tack on to what we learned. Let me know if I missed something. Let me know if I did something wrong. Like I said, I'd be more than glad to come back and make like a bonus follow-up video that can go in between videos to bridge any gaps or whatever we need to do there. But last but not least, guys, I really would like to challenge you guys to create this application on your own. And then if somebody is feeling optimistic out there, I think it would be really cool to implement another piece of knowledge that we learned, and that was the file handling in Python. So if someone out there has the gumption or whatever you want to call it, I would love to see this application. One of you guys make this application so that it saves the contacts when you close it. And that way, the next time you launch this application, all your contacts are there. Because we didn't write that into the code today, but that's okay, right? I challenge you guys to do that or do anything else to further customize this application, add on another feature. I think it would be awesome to see one of you guys do that. If you do, please share it with the community. I'd love to see a video on it, or if you post it somewhere, I can create a video and show the community what someone that followed this playlist was able to do. So, again, thank you guys so much for following along. Please consider sharing this video and this whole playlist with your friends. Maybe it'll help them learn some Python. Again, this is not the end all be all video. I don't think anyone's tutorials are. I mean, I'm sure I'll get an argument out that. But in my opinion, the more variety you have, the better off you are. Because I often learn things by watching three different people do the same thing, but they have a slight tweak on the way they explain it. And that really helps me understand it to get different perspectives from different people. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to wrap this up now, but yeah, give me a thumbs up, guys. If you haven't subscribed to the channel by video number 10 in this series, I'd really appreciate it if you just go ahead and subscribe. I drop all kinds of new geeky tech related stuff several times a week, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. So until the next one, everyone take care and have a great day.